If you want to know where you are in God, just look at your expectations, your prayer points. If your prayer points are littered with I want, just know. Listen, there is nothing bad in personal requests. I am saying it cannot be the epicenter of your devotional life. It cannot be. Please, are you getting this? It can't be the focus. You don't understand the Magode. You don't know why you are here. You don't know what it is to image God. It means you represent his interests. And if all your requests are your own interests, something is wrong. This is something that even in the world they understand. Think about it. You see, let me tell you something. Even people who don't know God, they should have been suspicious. How can a man go to a dibia who lives in a hut? His house doesn't look nice. Everything doesn't look nice. Looks funny. He's sitting on the floor. You come to such a man and you say you want him to make you rich. Make no mistake, some of them can. Don't play. You see, this is not a joke. They can. People are not foolish. They are going to those places because they've seen the testimonies of others. It's not really a testimony. Do you understand? And if you try stuff like that, the consequences will be grave. The devil does not give anything. He takes more than he gives. It's a poor bargain to receive anything from Satan. But hear what I'm saying. That in a sense, the one who is serving the deity knows how to live without all these carnal things. Then you come to him. You are still living with a consciousness of convenience. You come to such a person. So if he has that power, why didn't he use it for himself? What I'm telling you is a law in the spirit. The people who have really journeyed in the spirit, either negatively or positively, they come to a place where they don't attach their significance to things. That's what I'm telling you. That the same Jesus who will not turn stone to bread can multiply 5 loaves to feed 5,000. Are you getting it now? You understand consecration when you understand what I just said. It is consecration to continue my fast, even if I can turn stone to bread. Because man shall not live by bread alone. See, the fact that God blesses does not mean the principle, the overarching principle of consecration doesn't apply. Listen, I must understand that man shall not live by bread alone. Do you know what that means? The power to get bread should not be exploited. That if God gives me that power, it is primarily to serve his purposes, not just for personal convenience. So all the while that this man was 40 days and 40 nights without food, everything around him could turn to food. Think about that. He could have formed a bakery in that wilderness. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Listen, again, we're talking about imaging God. So if you see that Jesus did this, is something to learn from. This is what our politicians need to learn, including the Christians, the so-called Christians amongst them. That you can be poor yet making others rich. There is a type of mentality that makes you feel that because you are around resources, you must squander it. It's an entitlement mentality. And when we come to this fundamental understanding of Christ, you have power, you can meet all your needs. Listen to me. If Jesus turned water to wine, it tells you he could have easily been the richest man that ever lived. wake up. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you have that power, what will you do? What will you do? And if you had that mentality, for instance, you can be a pastor of a great ministry and not dip your hands inside the church purse. This is the kind of men that God is building. You can be in charge of public funds and not loot the funds. When you understand that your purpose is to image Christ and to serve people, this is a fundamental understanding a lot of Christians must have. Otherwise, even our men of God will begin to act like hip-hop artists. Flashing cars, flashing things, they have flashing. It's a problem. So we need to come back to the foundation. Why are you on earth? You're on earth to image Christ. Are you with me? Are you listening to me? That means I am not here to serve my interest. Do you know what it means for the incarnate Son of God to say, the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve? What does that tell you? If he said that about himself, how much more you? That text should deaden every sense of entitlement in your life. It must die. He came not to be served, but to serve. That's not my priority. I actually came to give my life as ransom for as many as possible. And now the Bible says, let this mind be in you. Come on, are you beginning to get it? Do you realize that this also has its bearing even in prayer? That the same Christ that told you, seek and you shall find, somewhere else told you, seek first the kingdom. Did you hear what I just said? The same Christ that said, ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door shall be open. Seek and you shall find. That same Christ told you, seek first. There is a priority in prayer. There is how to pray. And there is also praying amiss. What is praying amiss? Praying to consume upon your lusts. It means when you see prayer just for self-elevation, you have missed the entire purpose. And so when people just tell you, in prayer you shall have what you say, and rightly so, it doesn't take away the fact that there is supposed to be a focus, an underlying understanding. Come on, are you with me? So the moment you realize that God blesses, for instance, that reduces your attachment to material things. That reduces your attachment. You know, when Peter had a net-breaking catch, what did he do? He dropped the net and followed Jesus. The more you know that God blesses, the more, come on, think about it. Anybody who can turn water to wine doesn't need a bank account. You only save what is scarce. Don't you get it? No wonder Jesus didn't keep all those things. What if God could evaluate or elevate your sense of contribution in the universe? That you begin to see all other things as small. House, car, you know. These are things that even carnal men know. Some carnal men know it. that possession is not as great as significance. When you attain significance, you can get possessions in one day. Forever, if they ask you what is your name and your last name is Mandela, there's Mandela in your name, there is a type of respect and attention. Come on, are you getting what I'm saying? It is true that a good name is better than silver and gold. That someone, not out of religious conviction, just out of patriotism, was ready to go to jail for his nation, it will never be forgotten. Even if the country they misbehave now. Come on, I get what I'm saying. What is it that some carnal people understand that Christians don't get? See what people are doing, then you are here thinking about tomorrow's bread. And when you come to Jesus and you say, teach us to pray, follow the priority of the prayer. Listen to what he says. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Everyone who has taught on this has gotten it right, at least mostly so. Meaning he is prioritizing relationship with the Father. That's the focus in prayer. Relationship, not request. Come on, are you with me? Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's purpose. That's your assignment right there. I told you Imago Day, right? To image God. You are here as his representative. That is the kind of stuff that an ambassador will say. I am here to make sure that it is here as it is there. Come on, are you with me? That is the confession of an ambassador. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Every embassy is able to model the modus operandi of the host nation. So that's the communication of an ambassador. Your will be done on earth. What if you had that mindset, that expectation? It is established legally. It must be established operationally. I want my school, my university, my home, my children to model the values and the priorities of heaven. God says, what? This is the kind of person I can really trust with resources. Then you begin to see magical provision. There's a dimension of provision that is like jazz. Let me tell you something. I don't ask God for things. I don't. I cannot bring myself to say, God, I have never, I will never. I'm not saying it's wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I'm telling you, I have never prayed for money before. Personally. What Solomon did is what I do. And the way, yesterday, I was talking to someone and it made me remember something that happened that made me see how God highlights people. And he doesn't joke. There are just some people. Heaven must not hear that they need something. Heaven must not hear. Because I had some researches and every 2 months it will stop working. So I was just like, you know what? Not because I like to be fancy or anything. Let me just buy one good one. So when I was in Canada, I went to a shop and I said, okay, let me buy this watch. When I heard price, I just jokingly said, I told our Canadian pastor, I said, it's not our mates that wear this one. And we laughed. And we went. In the evening, I preached. Now, 3 pastors were with me. In the evening, I preached. And when we were done, the Lord asked someone to give me a gift. He was wearing something and he removed it, put it inside a carrier bag and sent it. When I opened it, that same day, that same night, same wristwatch, same brand, same color, same. All of them were looking like this, afraid. Are you listening to me? God is dramatic.